Thanks for joining me on TCM tonight as we delve further into our spotlights on Westerns and how they relate to the character of America. I'm Alicia Malone, and up next we have a Western about racism toward Native Americans and Mexicans, directed by Martin Ritt. From 1967, starring Paul Newman, it's Hombre. Martin Ritt was a filmmaker who knew all about weaving social commentary into entertaining movies as the director of Edge of the City and Paris Blues before this, and Sounder and Norma Ray after. Ritt also jumped on as a producer here, with the original source material being a book by Elmore Leonard. Irving Ravitch and Harriet Frank Jr. were hired as the screenwriters, with the story following Newman's character. He's a white man, John Russell, who was raised by members of the Apache tribe and prefers Native Americans to white people. When he comes into an inheritance, Russell travels into town and then joins a stagecoach to get out as quickly as possible. The coach has been bankrolled by a government agent, played by Frederick March, who is traveling with his wife, played by Barbara Rush. Racism and classism were concerns for both Martin Ritt and Paul Newman, who worked together on 6 movies, including HUD, which led to an Oscar nomination for Newman, and The Long Hot Summer, made early in his film career. When Ritt died in 1990, critic Roger Ebert wrote about his impact, calling him the key director in Paul Newman's career, shaping the way we and other directors were to see him. He made comedies and thrillers and melodramas, but his surest touch was for movies about little people who went up against the system. That's true here, with Diane Cilento, Cameron Mitchell, and Martin Balsam, and cinematography by James Wong Howe. From 1967, this is Hombre. The New York Times review of Hombre called this Western a tasty recipe, writing, "Take a large portion of Stagecoach, a small chunk of the treasure of the Sierra Madre, a dash of Broken Arrow for flavor, Paul Newman to play the leading role, and give it to Martin Ritt to pan roast in his famous Western culinary style." Though that review was not all positive, adding, "All the people are fine in their roles and the whole is tremendously engrossing without being important." Hombre did make a valiant attempt at confronting racism and the mistreatment of the indigenous populations, though ironically there was a distinct lack of Native American and Mexican actors in the movie's cast. Time to take a break, but TCM Spotlight, The Defining Frontier, will continue. Our next Western with a social message features a heroic French cowboy and a villainous German bounty hunter.
Next on TCM, The Great Silence, then Wichita, and later Sergeant Rutledge. TCM faces a court-martial tonight.